Hello, medieval history students. Mrs. Pascogan here. I want to ask you a question to get this lesson started. What side are you on? So that's the question here for during a battle, when the knights were fighting each other. Sometimes it got hard to tell who was who, who's on whose side. So what did they come up with? Well, they started. Did you ever hear of a coat of arms? Well, that was their solution to design on their shields, and with their, think of it as team uniforms, what they wore, a unique symbol for each, and that's how they knew who was who in a battle. So you can think of it, I know a lot of you play sports, think of it as your team uniform. Okay, so for this lesson today, we are looking at a coat of arms. We're going to look at this idea in more detail. And I'd like you to read this. Don't skip over this article here about heraldry. Because this idea of a coat of arms starts with knights, but then it spreads to families. Then families start to have their own. And think of it as their family's own special symbol, like a family logo. And it says, knowing who someone is from their coat of arms is called heraldry. So that's what that's all about. So just go ahead and read this, and you can look at these symbols here. So for this lesson, as I said, you're looking further at this idea of a coat of arms. We've been studying all about the samurai and the knights and their expectations and their values. And so now I thought it would be neat for you to learn about the practice of designing a coat of arms that they did in medieval Europe. And I am going to have you design your own, that you're going to see here in this elaborate section. So to learn more about it, though, you're going to look at this Dexter's article here, read about the history and the design of it, and then I have a video I would like you to watch as an overview of what a coat of arms is. It's very brief. It's like 2 minutes. Then for the do, you can just type it right here. Write a list of values that are important to you. So what, really matters the most to you in life. So think about those values. And then for the explain, what was the purpose of a coat of arms? They evaluate as a short quiz. And this is the part I really want to explain to you, because this might take some time, but it's fun because you get to talk about yourself. So it says, design your own coat of arms to represent yourself. It should reflect who you are and what you stand for. Include what you most value. So think about what is most important to you. Choose symbols and colors that have meaning. Then write a paragraph explaining the symbols you chose and what they mean to you. You must have at least 4 symbols on your coat of arms. And then here's a template that you can use. So you can either do it this way, or you can do it cut into the quadrants. So like I said, this would work if you have to have at least 4 symbols or images. And then what you're going to do is you can just take a picture with your cell phone or your parent's cell phone, and then you can upload the picture, here digitally. And and then if you would like, you could also, there are different websites where you could do it digitally, or you could use a variety of different programs. I know a lot of you are tech savvy. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But don't forget that you have to design this, but then also give a paragraph with it explaining it. That's the part that I kind of want to know. So here's just a few examples I pulled off the internet of people who have done this. So you're going to want to put your name on some type of banner, and then put the symbols that matter most to you, and values. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and then don't forget about the reflection. So that's going to be this week's lesson. It's going to go into for Thanksgiving week. We only have 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, so this will continue for the next week as well. It won't be due till the Friday after we come back. And then the other thing I would like you to look at is this right here. You're going to start on this checkpoint, inquiry, argument, preparation. And it's you have to develop an argumentative claim to this question. How did the feudal honor codes of Bushido and chivalry represent values of their respective societies? So how did those codes represent what their society's valued. So you're going to pull, you're going to have to put a quote down. So there's 3. Quote that helps you answer the claim, so whatever your answer was here, a quote that supports it, and you're going to put where you got that from, what resource number or title. Summarize it in your own words, and then explanation of how it proves your argumentative claim. Okay. And what else did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to tell you too not to worry about when you look at this part that helps you get to that. Don't worry about this section about explain your argumentative claim to your partner. We're just going to skip that since we aren't in a regular classroom setting, so don't worry about that part. And here's another more scaffolded question to help you. Think of it: the feudal honor codes of the Bushido and chivalry represent values of their respective societies because. So think of everything you have learned. Really go back to this last one too about the purpose of social codes. Go back to these documents here. You can use any of my lessons that I gave you on the samurai and the knights. You can go back to the documents on the expectations. The key thing is so that all that would count as your evidence. Just state, where you got it from. Alright, so if you have any questions while you're working on this, please reach out to me and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
This is what you gotta look at.